heard our correspondent who covered the event in Bhurban. He said 18 different political Afghan parties were present there. And they were all agreeing to the fact that they do need Pakistan on board here indirectly. That's pretty much what they've said. Mr. Yusufzai, after these talks, do you think that finally we've come to a point where this Afghanistan-Pakistan blame game that has been going on for so many years, that chapter is maybe closing?
I think it is the beginning of trying to close the chapter. It's a major event. Pakistan, was able to bring all these people here to Bhurban. So 18 small and big political parties, 57 Afghan delegates. This is really important because some of these people have been very anti-Pakistan, very critical of Pakistan. So they came here, they agreed to come, and they listened to the Pakistani leadership and Pakistani delegates. I think these kind of interactions are useful, because if you don't hear the other view, then you have your own fixed view, then you think you're right. But when you hear the other side, you may then try to rethink whatever you have been saying and thinking. Although this was not really an intra-Afghan dialogue, Taliban were not here, the Afghan government was not represented. But I think in context of Pakistan, playing the host and getting them here together, for a few days and recommitting to the peace process and then also reaffirming Pakistan's role in the Afghan peace process in terms of the Afghanistan-Pakistan relations is very important. And I think in that context, it's a kind of an achievement.
Do you think Pakistan is also getting this kind of acceptance from the Afghan delegates that it's seen in the Bhurban conference? We'll be, of course, talking more about that from Ayza, who was there. But also because there may be a vacuum that's been created after, or how far the US-Taliban talks have reached.
Well, I think the US-Taliban talks have not ended. In fact, the 7th round is beginning in a few days. There may be more rounds as well. But these, events like the one in Bhurban, the earlier 3 conferences, the intra-Afghan dialogue in Moscow, these actually complement whatever is happening in Qatar. Because, the next round will obviously an intra-Afghan dialogue. This is the US-Taliban talking mostly about security issues. Once that has been agreed, and there are a lot of expectations that something may happen in Doha next week. But then there will be the other challenges, like trying to organize an intra-Afghan dialogue. And already 7th of July was mentioned as one of the likely dates, but I think that will have to be extended.
Right.
We spoke to people in Qatar, and they are saying it won't be held on 7th of July. But I think this is going to happen in the future.
Okay.
So Afghans talking to Afghans.
This is inevitable. You're seeing this as inevitable. Also, the head of the Afghan High Peace Council, Mr. Karim Khalili, he was present also. I know you mentioned that there was no government representation. That's as much as a government representation as we can go at this point. Now, Pakistan's role historically with Afghanistan, there's been a lot of close ties with the Taliban, of course. So this seems to be almost like this being a staging ground. Do you agree for the next step now finally being that Pakistan will play that role, that constructive role of making that intra-Afghan talk possible?
Afghan government has been saying that the High Peace Council is an autonomous body. It does not represent the Afghan government. That has been their view. So Karim Khalili was in Moscow earlier. He has come to Pakistan, but he's not really part of the government. So that is one thing.
Okay.
I think that Umar Yusufzai, the advisor to President Ashraf Ghani, was also invited, but he didn't come because we were together in a conference in Istanbul, in Turkey, until yesterday. So, he stayed away. I think the Afghan government was not coming to this conference in Bhurban. So, I believe that, even if Afghan government was not there, Taliban was not there, even if there are still some, and something which needs to be done in future to arrange a kind of an intra-Afghan dialogue on Pakistani soil. These efforts will continue. This is an ongoing process. And Pakistan, should be playing a role. Until now, we were gradually pushed into the background because everything was happening in Qatar.
Right.
Pakistan did not have a seat at the table. But I think that they cannot ignore Pakistan. Pakistan has been able to, to put its contribution, and this Bhurban conference is going to, give a bigger role to Pakistan in the peace process.
All right.